Wait, welcome back to Michael F. No, it's What If Deku Was Like Michael Afton. This is part 3, and I'll be starting this off with once they get back from the USJ and everything happened there, because that's where they left out this video. So, after that happened, Aizawa informed them that they have a week to prepare, or a week off, but because of the incident, but to prepare for the or not the USJ, but prepare for the sports festival. So they don't slack off or whatever. And like an original, I think they went to shopping district, right, or whatever, to go shopping, whatever, for stuff first. So they go shopping like in the regular or original, and just like in the original, everyone goes off without Deku, and he's left behind. And Shigaraki, same thing happens with Shigaraki. And Shigaraki puts his hand around Izuku's neck without touching him with all 5 fingers. So he doesn't disintegrate him right away. Kind of choking him, but it doesn't work. He kind of does, because Izuku kind of doesn't really breathe. So, yeah. But, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay. So Izuku is confronted by Shigaraki, and Shigaraki does his normal talk about something like what makes heroes so good or whatever, something. I don't remember what Shigaraki said. If you really want to know, you can look in the anime or whatever. But this doesn't work on Izuku, and Shigaraki's scared away. Honestly, that was just... why did I even cover that? Nah, never mind. Too late. But after that, pretty much they get everything they need from the store, and then they leave. Shigaraki failed at getting any information or whatever he wanted from Izuku. But then, after that, Izuku went to work on a device. I know I said he wasn't going to get something like the, what was it called? Illusion disc, but just for his sake, he's just going to be creating something that, like an illusion disc, because it won't fix anything, but it'll make him look normal. Decides to work on this, but he doesn't finish it, so he's getting close to done, but he hasn't finished, so he can't use it yet. That's what he did throughout the whole week, because how is he going to really train? He has nothing to train. But, he goes off, and when the UA Sports Festival is going on, start with the what was it called? Oh, the racing thingy, the obstacle course. Just like in the anime, everyone's crammed into a hallway. Oh, right, before this, I forgot. Sorry. But the speech was given by Izuku because he was the um rep or whatever thingy, not that, but he gives a speech, and he says, "Try your best. I'm looking forward to a good challenge." And no one is mad about it or anything. And that's pretty much it. But then back to the thing, like in the original, they are crammed into a hallway for the obstacle course, and as soon as it starts, Todoroki starts to freeze a bunch of people, but Izuku, Bakugo, Todoroki, not Todoroki's not going to get in his own attack, but most of the same people got out of it. And Izuku really can't use his quirk much there, because it's not, besides the taking a bunch of damage without getting hurt. The only thing he can really use is a good sense of balance, since he has to program that into his to the Ennard thing and the endoskeleton like thing inside him to keep him standing, to make sure he doesn't fall over. So he's really good balance. So he runs, and not really in the lead until he keeps on running and gets past the rope thing very easily, just running across it because of his good balance. And he gets to the minefield. To keep in mind, he made the endoskeleton and the Ennard thing inside of him very durable for the reason being that he doesn't want it just to fall apart. Since he's going to be being a hero, he needs it to be extra resistant. So even if it was a real mine, it wouldn't break it. But getting back to it, he just runs and jumps on top of the mine, going further each time, using it to boost himself, getting in the lead by doing this. This shocks everyone, and this causes Izuku to get first place and a 10,000 point headband for the cavalry battle. I can't say it, but you know what I mean. So it's announced the winners and such, and Izuku gets a 10,000 point headband for the next game, and they have to make their teams. So Izuku tries to get some people on his team, but he could only get Mei Hatsume. And the max on team, the lowest on team, I think could be 3 people. So Izuku asked if it would be fine to use the Ennard thing. Basically, the thing that's been held, one of the things that can hold him up. As the third person. And this was allowed. And so Zuko and his team had Mayatsume's thing, so they flew pretty much with the jetpacks and stuff, so no one could get to them, and every time they tried, Izuku could just dodge out of the way. And he won that event. His team won that event. So, to continue to the next round. Now, onto the interesting stuff. The 1v1s. Now, of course, like in the original, the first battle for Izuku would be Shinso. Now, Ojiro told him not to answer any of his questions because it's part of his quirk and gave him the hint. But Izuku ignored this. Mind you, he still had Ennard inside. So he went up to the ring and the match started with Shinso saying stuff like, "You're lucky you have a good quirk. You actually can be a good hero. Your blaster stuff." And stuff like that. And this really started to piss Izuku off. Mind you, he's always wearing that fox mask that I showed in like the first or second part. And so when when Shinso said this, Izuku took off his mask and said, looking straight at him, and said, Do you think it's lucky to have a quirk that only activates when you practically die or practically kills you? And Shinso thought he had got Izuku and said, "Ha, got you." And said, "Now walk out of the ring and admit defeat." Izuku started moving, but then Ennard kicked in. Then, where his eyes were just white light, still holding his mask, of course, it turned blue as Ennard took control. and turned right back around. Instantly, this broke Izuku from the mind control, and it switched back to his regular eyes and, well, lack thereof. But he was able to walk. He was able to break through that, and Shinso was scared and confused. And he asked, "How did you do that?" Izuku didn't answer, and swiftly putting his mask back on, he ran straight towards Shinso and trying to push him out of the ring, which was quite easy, but then decided to lift him up and flip him over and slam him down on his back. And then as Zuko won because Shinso couldn't move after that, and he was hauled off to Recovery Girl. And everyone was excited, but scared. Then Zuko went back, and the few fights that were in between that went on. And then we get to Izuku versus Todoroki. Izuku was walking up to the ring in an endeavor, tried convincing Izuku to make him use his fire side. And Izuku looked straight at Endeavor and said, that, your son is not you. Endeavor's like, what did you say? And Zuko repeated himself and said, you really repeated himself by saying, your son is not you. You shouldn't treat your son as a second chance to be the number one hero. And unless you want to say thing that happened to the rest of your kids to happen to him. Endeavor's like, what do you mean? And Zuko says, they all hate you. So change before that happens to your whole family. At least you'll have one person. And Endeavor doesn't listen to this. And just gets just having a temper. And then Zuko scoffs and walks away. And Zuko enters the ring, as well as Todoroki. And Zuko looks at Todoroki and says, you better use your full power. I won't accept it if you only go halfway. Todoroki says, what do you mean? Izuku says, use your fire side as well. From the beginning. And Todoroki said, he put you up to this, didn't he? Izuku said, he tried to. And I told him off. That still doesn't give you the right not to use your fire sight. And Todoroki said, what do you know about anything? You don't know anything about me. And Izuku, in a very creepy fashion, explained most of Todoroki's life. And straight to his face, and Todoroki says, how do you know that? And Izuku says, if you pay attention to the right things, you can tell. You can read like a book what happened to them, when, what's their favorite color, and why they are like they are. But there's one more thing I have to tell you. That quirk isn't your father's, like you think it is. If it was, he would be able to activate it. Now, is he able to activate your quirk? That quirk? Todoroki says, no. Who is able to activate that quirk? Todoroki says, I am. Izuku says, exactly. Only the one who can activate and use that quirk has ownership over it. It's not his quirk, it's yours. And then they go off and fight. That was overly long. Oh, God. I'm not doing that again. But, Izuku has to dodge fire and ice at the same time now. But he only really needs to dodge the ice using the wires and the sharp metal from Ennard to claw around to get around the ice. Izuku uses all the steam from the fire and ice to like a smoke screen to get behind his to get behind, what was his name? Todoroki. And instantly knocks him out. With one big punch to the back of the head. And, this surprises everyone. But this is the reason why he's able to get to this smoke, like a smoke screen, is because he knew that it would be beneficial to make his eyes more of a heat signature thingy. So, and regular mode, multiple modes like infrared, so you see the heat signatures, and then that's, yeah, so you could see it through smoke and stuff. And so that's pretty much it. And then everyone uh was cheering for Izuku and blah blah. Then to the last fight, after all those the fights after that one, to Bakugo versus Izuku. 'Cause Izuku and Bakugo get up to the podium, and Bakugo straight off tries to blowing up Izuku, getting close to blow up Izuku. But this was a mistake because Izuku grabbed Bakugo's arm, the one he used to try and explode Izuku, and just flipped him over and smashed him to the ground. Like, you know how that one thing with the Hulk where he's smashing Thor back and forth? Instead, just imagine Michael Afton grabbing the arm of Bakugo and doing that once with Bakugo over his head. And when Bakugo lands, a bunch of spit comes out of his mouth, and he loses his breath. But then instantly he gains it back and gets back up quickly and tries to use the technique where he makes a bunch of the AP shot technique thing in the air, trying to obliterate Izuku. But this doesn't get Izuku. Izuku dodges all of it. Well, not all of it, but dodges relatively most of it. And the stuff that did hit him didn't really affect him much. But then Izuku jumped as high as he could with the robot leg things, and he tried dragging Bakugo down because he was using his explosion to survive, and it managed to work, and Izuku basically slammed him down into the arena thing, and it almost knocked out Bakugo. But before Bakugo could get back up, Izuku grabbed his legs and started spinning him around and threw him out of the ring. And Izuku won. And that's was the end of the U.S. Sports Festival thing. But after that, they went back to the class and they got their papers for the internships that wanted them to have a work study or whatever under them. And Izuku left to see all the ones, all the work studies that he gotten, because he's gotten the most out of everyone. And he saw one from he saw one from Best Genius. Yeah, let's just say that. And whatever. And say Bakugo didn't go to Best Genius or whatever, he went to someone else. I'm just saying this because there'll be a reason. But Izuku goes to work under Best Genius. And you know how Best Genius is about the gotta look friendly and not intimidating or whatever. Pretty much, or whatever. So Izuku goes there and it's off with Best Genius, and Best Genius says, I'm glad you could make it. Thanks for choosing my agency. And Zuko said, I had only picked my interest because it says something about you could help me make it look a little less intimidating. Best Genius why would you want to look less intimidating? You're a hero after all. And then Zuko took off the mask and showed him his face and said, I'd rather look like a hero instead of a walking corpse. And Izuku put back on the mask, and Best Genius says, oh, well, that makes sense. So, what kind of style are you going for? And Izuku said, I don't really know, I don't care, as long as there's, so I can have something to cover my face and I make sure I can still move freely. And Genius says, well, I've got a better mask for you that would look a lot better, and make you less scary. Let me look for the mask I'm talking about. Oh god. Yep, there's a lot of Michael Afton stuff here. Nope. No, I'm gonna pause and then I'll find it. And I'll start it up again when I found it. You kind of look like this because I think this looks better. And then this becomes his new hero costume. But he still makes it easy enough for that image, the little side of it to come out when it needs to, pretty much. But yeah. Then Bezos decides it's time to go for. Actually, I'll do this in the next part because it's getting close to 40 minutes, so I'll finish this. Not finish, but I'll do the next part. So, see you in the next part. And remember, amazing. If you want to get to, or if you have an idea for me, please put it in the comment section. And if you're there and I decide I want to do your idea, you'll get a shout out for this. And give you credit for it. And if you don't want to be shouted out for it, you can say. And if you just want to shout out, you can just ask for it in the comment section.